Hello everyone's. I am here for my review of Black Lightning Season 4 Episode 1. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning one of my peoples, welcome back. Y'all, first of all, I didn't even know this episode was coming on last night. I thought it was coming on Wednesday night, and I was wrong. I go watch my shows on the DVR as I normally do because I like fast forwarding through the commercials. And I was like, is this a Black Lightning come on? I was like, I had to read to make sure it wasn't just, the last episode of the last season. I was like, well, doggone it. So now I got to do another video. I was not here for it because I'm like, I miss Detective Henderson. It's like so many people could have been gone besides him. Odell and Tobias being at the top of the list. Y'all know how I feel about Odell and how he was going around maneuvering and almost destroying the Pierce family by one. Now, I'm going to try to use the correct words so as YouTube don't take down my video. Because they did kind of get on me last season when somebody commented what they wanted to happen to Odell. And it's like, no, y'all can't be saying stuff like that. But y'all know I wanted it to be a family tag team effort to torture Odell. I did. I don't know if I should use the word torture, but like to cause a lot of pain to him. It was going to be a group effort. Lynn was going to give him some green light like he gave her. So now he hooked. Got the shakes and the itches. Wanted all the time. But he going to be strapped to a table to where he can't get up and move. And this was going to come in, thump him real good. Some small bones. But it's still painful. Give you something to after maybe in a few hours you didn't heal. You're no longer in pain. Jennifer, she's going to come along and, zap you a little bit. Lynn going to make sure you're all right. If things get too horrible, oh yeah, Khalil, he was going to come over and, with his little powers of, the poison. Just enough to where your arm is about to be gone. But then pour something on it in his back and, rinse and repeat. Go on for a while. I would have been okay with that. Tobias, he should have shriveled up like the prune that he was. I am still mad, but I'm going to give it to Lynn. She wasn't in her right mind. But he should have been, if not all the way shriveled up, he should have been shriveling up like a prune like it was last season. And I'm not here for it. But, Jefferson at Henderson's grave, upset and feeling guilty because he let Henderson in Black Lightning's world. And that ultimately caused him to be killed. He talking to his daddy. Daddy been gone 30 years, so I was confused as all get out. Because he was having a full-on conversation with the daddy. So I'm like, what? Okay. And I did know that it said that he had passed away exactly 1 year ago. It was 1 year ago from last night because today's the 9th and yesterday was the 8th. I was like, okay. So I noticed that on the gravestone. So as Jefferson is, leaving and driving down the street, he sees police officers just like roughing up this like young man. And this young man has a violin in his hand walking down the street. He is not kicking doggone at poles. He's not graffitiing anything. He is walking down the street, minding his business. Jefferson gets out of the car looking clean. He was looking clean all the way. Jefferson always looking clean. It's like, hey, what y'all doing? It's like, get back in your car and leave. It's like obviously I don't have a gun. They didn't doggone threw little young man to the ground and he was like, really? I got my arms out. No guns in my hand. We are in broad of the daylight. Hey, for real, this is what we doing? So he's like, you know what? Bump this. Like he used his lightning, lifted them up in the air and threw them on the ground. Went over there. All right, you want to talk about something? Oh, you too? Car. As this was going on, the young man, he took off running. He's like, I am no witness of I am not participating in this. I'm like, when did Jefferson get the ability to erase people's memories? I didn't know he can do that. Not mad about the fact, but I just didn't know he can do that. I was also upset like, Jefferson, you are in your regular clothing. People got doggone it ring doorbells everywhere, capturing everything. There's, street lights with cameras on them. Maybe we should have just, looked at the license plate, familiarized yourself with them. Went to Uncle Gam because he could have tapped in some people's stuff in the lights, like, okay, that's such and such and such and such. Then come back as Black Lightning and did that. But he's so angry at the time, he not thinking about none of that. He not cared if it was like somebody walking down the street with their baby. He was getting these officers. Not really mad because y'all shouldn't have been messing with that man, that young man in the first place. He wasn't doing anything to hurt anybody. Now, Jefferson and Lynn, they in therapy. Yeah, because you know what they went through last season. Lynn getting hooked on the green light, grabbing drugs up at the toilet, just doing a lot. So they in therapy because one, after she was all in her addiction, she left the family. But you know, she clean now. She done grew her hair out. I was like, all right, I like that little cut on you. Lynn, you looking good. You don't look so strung out no more. I'm happy about that. I was highly upset that they had made her a dope fiend last season. It really hurt my spirit. But he's still grieving the death of Henderson, and she's not having sex with him, and that's also another thing. It's like, basically, they're not connecting with each other. He's still grieving. He wants sex. She wants intimacy and not just sex. The daughters is out here running amok and being the power superheroes that they are. It's just a lot going on with them at this current moment in time. And they're trying to work their way back to each other. Tobias, however, was bold in going on an interview to let him know, I am back. I'm like, Tobias is petty and does not care. He out there talking about he want to rebuild Freeland. He want to get rid of the gangs that are providing the green light. Of course, because he wants his gang to provide the green light. But y'all, like I said, I'm going to excuse Lynn because she was, in her addiction last season. You should have let that man shrivel up like a prune that he was turning into. I do not remember what caused her to be like, you know what, Tobias, even though you killed my father-in-law before he was my father-in-law, and you have been after my, kids and my husband, and you almost, took out my daughter's boyfriend, I'm going to help you. I don't remember that. I may need to go back and look at what happened. But, like, Tobias is dangerous just because he is Tobias. And then you throw in that he knows who the Pierce family is. He know that is Black Lightning. He know that is Thunder. He know that is Lightning. And he know that Lynn is their mama and wife. I don't know how this is going to work out, y'all. I really, really don't. So, Jennifer out here doing what I would have done if I had flying abilities. I would be flying all the time. Because I be having these, unrealistic thoughts about, like, what I would do if I... It's because I be watching this movie. It's from the 80s, Flight of the Navigator, where this little boy was, like... I don't want to say abducted, but he was taken for, like, 8 years and came back looking the same. And it was because of a spaceship. In my mind, I was like, man, I would love to have a spaceship to just fly around in. But, like, if I could just fly on my own, I would be traveling. I hope I'm not, like, in this time. But, like, depending on how much energy I would need to use, I would be flying all the time. She is just up there flying, getting energy from the stars. I don't know. It was just glowing and it was beautiful and I was here for it. And I was like, I would be flying too. I have had thoughts like, man, I wish that I had a car that could fly that was also invisible. I don't know why it needs to be, well, I guess it means be invisible so that I can fly it and then, like, I can just, land where there's no cameras at and I can just drive it like a car. Yeah, that's how my mind works. Where am I at? Oh, yeah. Lynn out here using her powers that she done took from Wayne Brady last season and, can control people. So her job is to stop human trafficking victims. She popped up, let her go. You hit him. He's like, why are you listening to her? Like, bro, I don't know. She got doggone partners knocking each other out, but she's doing her job of saving, human trafficking victims. I was like, okay, I am here for this. I am here for this. I am also here for Lynn having powers. Now, I don't know how this is going to work in the long run, because last season it would only last an hour. So now it's been like 24 to 48 hours since she's had Wayne Brady's powers. So if she can synthesize the ingredients in his powers, she can last longer. Because why not be a superhero like the rest of the family? Like, who don't want to do that? She's helping save people. She's a superhero. Like, yes. Now, y'all, I am so confused as to why Jefferson went over to this young man's house and like beat him up and erased his memory. Now, I'm guessing this may be the young man who saw what went on, because like this new, the chief detective, she's somebody. She came to the school like, these police officers, they was hemmed up, their mind was erased, car was blown up, and they got a partial from your license plate, we got a partial match. And there's only a few people who had that license plate with those numbers. And you came up, and he was like, they was like, how you explain it? He's like, it's not for me to explain, that's for you to find out, because you're the detective. So they know that he did it. So I guess he went over to that young man's house to like erase his memories. But I'm like, he don't really hurt the innocent. So I was confused why he beat the young man up. That may not be a young man. It's just some random young man was sitting there minding his business, and next thing you know, Jefferson Pierce is in his house beating him up and erasing his memory. I was so confused about that. Tobias, he over here donating to the lab where Lynn works at, and I'm like, so he gonna be around all the time. Nothing good can come up from Tobias being around. Nothing. Now, I'm torn between, is he there to use her expertise, or does he like her, or is it both? Because he had told somebody he got a date with a divorcee doctor. And the way he be looking and talking to Lynn made me think that he want to get with Lynn. But I'm like, are you for real? I mean, have confidence and all, but you do realize that this is this woman's husband you've been fighting with for years, and you killed her father-in-law. And you've been after her kids. But anyway, lastly, Jen was out here minding her business, flying, collecting all the energy from what I'm assuming is a star. She was glowing. It was sparkling and like cocooning her. Then next thing you know, she like passes out and like falls to earth. Well, she was only on earth. She like falls to the ground. I'm like, Jennifer, I'm gonna need you to wake up now. Cause you falling at a rapid pace, and you gonna hit the ground and it's gonna hurt. You don't have the Anissa, I'ma hold my breath and not feel pain. You had that, I can't, does she feel pain? I think she does feel pain. So, yeah, I'm gonna need her to wake up. So far, this first episode was good. Stressful, because I'm like, I don't need this. I don't need Tobias coming over here, working and donating at Lynn's lab, being all up in her face, being Tobias as usual. Lala, he's over here still in his head about what's in his head, being Lala. So, y'all, that was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It's free all day, every day, free $3.99. Make sure your notifications are on so when my beautiful face puts up a video. You can click on it, you can like it, you can share it with your people, and you can come over and be one of my peoples. If you're already one of my peoples, welcome back. Y'all know what to do. Tell your people to tell their people to come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. And this is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.